Hey everybody, it's the first episode of the MadCast featuring Jarrin and Jimmy.
Hey, I'm Jimmy.
Yeah,
So, our first question today is if you could spend 24 hours with any person, who would it be and why?
dude, that's
24
hard.
hours.
Can they be dead?
They can be dead. If you could bring them back or anything, if just any person you can spend 24 hours with.
That's difficult, man.
It is. I actually was thinking about this a while ago, in mainly because Ron Williams recently just passed away. I was like, he was such a good actor and he was such a nice person. I wanted to see how he did it and what made him be that way. Because a lot of people they don't go out of their way unless they've been treated wrong. And I sort of wanted to know what made him act that way, what made him want to be an actor, what made him choose the films he was going to be in, and all that stuff. So who I would choose is Robin Williams easily.
Robin Williams. I mean, that's a good choice. It really is. Um, for me, I kind of want to waste it and say Arnold Schwarzenegger. To be very honest with you, but I can't. That wouldn't be my official choice.
Yeah,
There's too many people for me to actually come down to one choice. God.
it's sort of hard. If we could do a throwaway choice, I would go with Taylor Swift because why not?
Dude, I think you see, I can't think of anybody right now. There's so many people.
There is a
It
lot of
makes no
people.
sense what I just said, but it's okay.
All right.
Yeah,
So Arnold Schwarzenegger then?
I think I'll just go with
With
Arnold.
Arnie?
I'm gonna go with Arnie. I'm just gonna
Gotta
I'm
get
gonna
to the
just get him
chopper.
to yell random shit
That's
out.
it. Gotta get to the chopper. That's all you gotta do.
That's all we're gonna do. I'm gonna get him to yell random shit and then walk around.
That
It'll
sounds
be
good.
cute. It'll be
Sounds
beautiful.
really good. Alright, next topic. What makes you instantly like a person?
Instantly like a person.
Yes. Like you see them, you talk to them for maybe 5 minutes or so, and it's like, boom, right then and there.
I guess they kind of have to give off a good vibe. You know what I mean?
A good vibe?
They're,
Yeah.
you see, a person can be nice and everything, but if they don't have the certain vibe that kind of just tells me that they're a person I would like to hang out with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I don't know.
I understand that. What for me, it's more like if you treat me nice and I can see you and how you treat your friends, and if you treat your friends correctly and nicely, I know you're the type of person that will respect me and my friends.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'm just like, if you're nice and you respect people, I'm good.
yeah. That's true. There's a lot of dicks, man.
Oh, there is so many dicks out there. Like, it's unbelievable how. So, and it's crazy because I used to think when I was younger, there was everybody I met was so nice. Everybody was the nicest person. I was nice to people. I never seen a bad thing in the world. And then you grow up and you see all these horrible things happening, these horrible people to other people, and it's like, what changed?
Yeah, that's true. My parents were always like, "Watch who you hang around with, Jaron. Watch what you do." And I always thought it was just like, hey, I know who I'm dealing with. That little little Alex from down the street. He's so nice. He let me talk to me sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I was like, okay. Then you start getting older and you realize how people truly are, and then everybody starts to change, and
little Alex becomes a dick.
he becomes the biggest douchebag around.
Yep, it's
And
insane though.
yeah, you can't help it. You can't
Like,
help how people are.
I have a story from when I was younger. There was this kid named Timothy. He used to live across the street from me, right? And me and him were really, really good friends. He was, I think, a year older than me, and I think I was around 9 years old. So he was about 10. We hung out. I lived in the same place for almost 5 years. So it was around when I was 13, he was 14. Everything changed just out of nowhere one year. He just twisted and become the biggest dick. He was like, "Oh, I can't hang out with you. You're a year younger than me." All this, that, and I was like, dude, you had no friends before, and me and you were the only two that were friends. And then now you're 14, you don't want to be friends with me for just no reason at all. And he was like, yeah, I can't hang around. You're not cool enough. I was like, oh, all right, I guess. That's nice.
See, that's never happened to me. I've always had like when I was younger, I had a bunch of older kids that hung out with me, which is really weird.
No.
But the only see when I got to high school, people started changing a lot.
Everybody changed in like middle school for me, really.
I mean, the people that I used to hang out with in middle school only hung out with a group of like two people, two other kids in there. It was Alex and my friend Chase. But they never changed. I mean, of course, everybody changes, but it wasn't a drastic change. They were still who they are. They're still the same to this day.
Yeah.
Just never was that drastic change like I've seen some people do in high school. Like a guy that I'm not gonna name who just changed completely within like this time span of a month, and people when people do that, it's stupid.
It is. See, what I really don't understand is how people change to accommodate other people and like new friends they meet.
Yeah.
I really don't understand that because in the long run, if you have to be fake and not be who you actually are, you're gonna end up just hurting yourself and then not being with the people who actually care about you.
Yeah. That's that's very true. I mean, if you can't be who yourself around people, then what's the point?
Really, like, come on. And
I
when
mean,
you can be yourself around people, you feel great.
yeah.
That's the thing.
I mean, sure, those people might be the people who you like. Oh, yeah, they're so cool. I gotta be around them. But if you can't, just be yourself and have fun and not have to keep up a persona that you wanna try to make them think you are, then what's the point of being friends?
That is very true. And trying to
They're not,
keep up that persona is hard after a while.
and if they think that it's going to be as you, they're obviously not your friend because they're not there for you. They're there for the fake person that you are.
Yeah, they're there for who they think you are, but in all reality, that's not who you really are.
I mean, it's almost the same thing in like relationships when people try to change to get a girl and like that.
Definitely. Oh, I hate it in relationships how people will go from, say, you have a friend, right?
Yep.
And they'll be just starting to date somebody, and they're like, oh, well, I gotta go do this and do that, right?
Yeah.
And then they go and they just change every little tiny thing for this one person that they've barely known, even for just like started dating for a couple months. And I'm just like,
Uh,
why are you changing so much for somebody you don't even know yet that you don't isn't gonna even commit or change anything positively for you?
yep. Or they just change who they are. Like the person will change who they are, and I don't get it.
I really
I
don't
mean,
either.
I get you may like the person a lot, but
Yeah, I can understand if you really like somebody. I can understand small changes here and there, and especially if it's been a long time, a long relationship, I can understand that. But if it's a short couple months thing, no.
yeah, I mean, even then, it's like I can see like small changes, like say, you know, oh, your significant other doesn't like you smoking. I mean, that's a good change, right?
Yeah, like anything to change for the positive, that's fine.
But if it's like,
But
I don't like when you go see movies on those Sunday nights, when you've been doing that for like 5 years and it makes you happy and you change that for that person, that's not right.
no, not at all. Especially if it's something that you've been doing for a while that makes you happy. Like it might sound self-centered, but you in a relationship, you need to be able to make yourself happy. You can't rely on somebody else making you happy.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you're not good alone, if you can't be alone and be happy, that's going to be bad if you get into a relationship and they make you happy because if they leave, yep,
They leave, what are you gonna do? Like
that's going to be
really?
hard to get over.
But I got another topic here. Can you describe your life in one sentence?
Uh,
This one, I found it, and just, I don't really know. It's a hard one.
describe my life in a sentence.
Yeah. I would say mine would be like a roller coaster up and down in all different loops. That's it. Because I've gone through some really good times and some really bad times, and I've had some weird curves and unrealistic roller coaster type of life.
I mean, I guess I could say trying to run around being happy, but also being lazy. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, yeah,
Also being lazy. I
also
like the
being
lazy part.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
That'd just be sort of like relating to mine as like a slow part in the roller coaster, like you're building up and it's just slow and you're waiting to go and you're like, come on, it's almost there. But nope, not there
that
yet.
also describes almost everyone's life like a roller coaster.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, because I don't think anyone in the world hasn't went through a bad time.
Yeah, there's definitely. But mine, I don't know. I'm not saying like mine, like, no, nobody's life is like mine.
I know.
But as that sort of just sounded, but no, no, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, just personally, for myself, looking back on it, I've gone, my basic year has so many ups and downs. I have good months, I have bad months. There's never really an in between for me.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And I think that's a lot with just growing up, though.
Yeah, yeah. See, with my months, a lot of my months are kind of neutral,
Yeah,
but generally the months that are bad are generally bad.
yeah.
The months that are good tend to be really good, and it's nice. And those neutral months I can deal with because then I just sit around
Yeah,
and be lazy.
yeah. Those neutral months, those sound nice.
Neutral months. But generally, I don't have a lot to complain about throughout my life, though.
Yeah, I don't really have much to complain about, but I've just gone through some times, and it just sort of made me into the person who I am now. So
Yeah, yeah, true that. I mean, it just it depends on how you're raised and how everything's going. It's too many factors to.
it definitely, especially when you're talking about how who you are today, it's definitely how you were raised
Yeah,
and who you're raised by. Definitely,
yeah. Parents are a big part in that,
they are a very big part.
of course. But another part of that is your friends too.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, because think about it. There's a lot of like teenagers who will completely defy their parents just for their friends.
oh yeah, I definitely understand that. Never mind. I was thinking more like your friends, if they have you do certain things, it'll make out how you were. But no, I've known a couple people who went out of their way and totally changed and started disrespecting their parents because of they saw some other friend doing it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hard topic because your parents, it's one thing because you don't necessarily have to believe in what they're telling you, but I don't know where I'm going with this.
Well, I understand you don't have to really listen to them. You can make up your own ways and believe in your own things, but in the end of it all, your parents are the reason you're here today. Your parents are the ones that are going to be there until the very end. There may be that one friend or a couple friends that might be there for a long time, but when you grow up, it comes few and they get stretched out, but your parents will always be there.
hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully will always be there. Some situations might not be, but majority of the time they will.
Always.
Yeah.
Generally, parents love their children unless they happen to be the bad spectrum
Yeah.
parents.
Which is always never a good thing,
Yeah, that's a
but
whole different monster right there.
that is that's something we could actually save that for another day. So I can go into that whole thing for a while, but
Yeah.
I think you might have some questions
Oh,
you want
sir.
to ask.
What is your catchphrase or word that you use on a daily basis?
Use on a daily basis. I don't really have a catchphrase or words. I sort of just make sounds and facial expressions.
That's
like
understandable.
all the time. Like one of my friends was like, Jimmy, you never really say specific things, but your reactions to things people say to you or like things happening is amazing. Like I guess I have great facial reactions to weird things and such. I was like, all right, I guess.
You know what? That's funny because generally with everybody that I know, it's like, yeah, the way you say the words and your facial expressions just make what you say funny. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay, I can deal with that.
yeah. It's like, all right, I guess that's cool.
I mean, I guess they use the word dope too much. I mean, that's one thing I do say, but that was mainly because everybody around me got it stuck in my head, so
Yep,
can't help that at all.
I know that is, especially your vocabulary and like what you say is a lot of who you talk to.
Yeah.
Because personally, in our little background, our little group, me and Jaren's little group here, I have trouble speaking sometimes, and I mix up people's names a lot, and I sort of have the tendency to make other people do it.
All
So
the time. All the
all the time, it just happens, and I'm like, oops. I feel like that may have been my fault,
time. you,
but
you can't help it, Jimmy. It's
yeah,
okay.
I can't help it. Can't help it. I'm dyslexic.
You know what? Everybody in the group's called each other a random name at least once.
Easily.
At least once.
Like, so I can understand when people mix up my and Jaren's name because they're both J, but sometimes it's just like someone would be saying like somebody X's name is Jarrin when their name begins with a total different letter and it doesn't even
Yeah.
sound remotely the same.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, well then.
But, Jimmy,
Yes.
has a friend done or said something that made you end the friendship?
Ooh. As in a just a friend, or can it be like a relationship thing?
It can be a relationship too.
Well, I have a little bit of. I sort of have one for a friend, but not really. Well, for relationship wise, I had this girl. She was. It was one of near my first. It was like my second relationship, I think. I didn't really know what I was doing in a relationship yet, but I was like, "Yeah, you're my girlfriend. You know, we can hold hands and such." But she would always hold other guys' hands and always say they were cute. And I was like, but I'm supposed to be that one. No, no, don't do that.
Supposed to be me. Stop it.
And she'd be like, no, you're the one, but they are too. And I'm like, no. So I was like, we're not dating anymore.
That'd
No, that's not happening. Sorry.
be terrible. That
Yeah.
is, yeah, I
But
can.
that relationship was only like a week long. So
Yeah.
it didn't really affect me
Middle school
emotionally too much.
relationships.
It was in seventh grade. But yeah,
Middle school relationships.
it was. I was like, nope.
Can't even help that though.
But friend wise, I don't. I don't know. Do you have one?
You see, honestly, I can't. I don't have an answer for that one because of the fact that even throughout my whole life, well, no, okay, this isn't. Well, yeah, he did something that made me end the friendship. I had a portable DVD player back in, I want to say, I think this was the fourth grade. This was one of the first times I moved to Oklahoma. So I was in this new school. I could walk to the school. It was like 3 or 4 minutes away, something like that.
Well, that's not bad.
And I had two friends there, or main friends. One of them was Zach and the other was Adam. Now, one day, Zach was like, why don't you and Adam come to my house and we can jump on the trampoline, do all this stuff? And I was like, yo, I'm down. Trampolines are amazing. So I go home. For some reason, I'd get my portable DVD player because I'm like, maybe we could watch some Family Guy. So I had that DVD and it was just like, yeah.
Yep.
Or was it Futurama? I forget which one it was.
No,
Anyway,
some show.
either one of those. But so we go over there, jump on the trampoline. I didn't have my portable DVD player on there, but it was on the table.
Yeah.
So Zach gets out and goes over to it, and he's seeing what movie I guess was in there. While me and Adam were just sitting on the trampoline, and he comes over there and says, "Jarrin, why won't the movie play?" Like, what do you mean? Why won't it play? I opened the disc tray. He had broke the circle thing. I don't know exactly what it's called that reads the disc.
Oh, like the iReader thingy? I
Yeah,
think, yeah.
he broke that.
What?
I don't know how he broke that. I was instantly pissed. I just walked away from his house. I never talked to that guy
I am.
again. I mean, he broke it. And then my mom was like, "Nuh-uh, we
Oh
don't sell
man.
this."
Oh man.
So she talked to his mom, and then they had like an argument or some shit.
Yeah.
I just never talked to him.
Something parents things do.
Yeah,
You know how it is.
yeah, I didn't get it. I was just like, "You broke my DVD player, man. Come on,
Why'd you do this?
does that?
I know,
You broke
right?
that thing too."
I know, I always had like little things that I loved, but before I forget, the thing that ruined a friendship for me, I think, 8, maybe 7 years old. And there was this girl, Amber, that I was best friends with since I was born. We would play because we were born 2 days apart, and my mom and her mom were best friends. So it was sort of that, like, oh, you two are going to be friends if you like it or not type deal. So we grew up with each other. And then I remember one day, me and her were just running around outside, and I had a friend named Cody, but he was 2 or 3 years older than we were. So he was outside, and we're all playing, and she would always, like, Amber would always run up to me and, like, tackle me to the ground and try and kiss me. And since I was 7 and 8, I was like, ew, cooties, get away from me, you're gross, and try and fight it. But deep down inside, I was like, oh, she's giving me attention. Because I had the hugest crush on her. Like, oh man, I was like, I like you so much. I don't even know what my body's doing. I like you. And she would just do that, and then Cody came out. And he had, do you remember those giant styrofoam airplanes that you could put the wings
Yeah.
on? He had one of them.
Oh,
And she went to him and did that to him, and I died on the inside. I was like, how do you do that to me? And come to figure out, he was like trying to always get new toys to impress her so she would hang out with him and not me.
huh.
And I was like, Cody, why? And then they just hung out, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go do stuff myself. And I just ran around and just did my own thing for a while and didn't talk to her. And one day Cody came up to me and it's like, hey, guess what? I was like, what? Me and Amber are dating. And I was like, I my little inside 7 year old self died that day.
Ooh.
I remember it vividly. I was outside, it was a summer day. We had one of those little kiddie pools, and I was jumping around in it, being all 7 and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he told me, and I remember seeing Amber just walk outside her door when he said that, and she walked right back in when I saw her. I was like, no.
That
And
sucks.
I, I didn't let him see me, but I started crying and I ran back to my house. I
Oh,
was like, nope. And I stayed inside, and I'm pretty sure I played Nintendo 64. I was playing Mario the rest of that day inside my house.
well, at least he had something to do.
Yeah.
That sucks though. You know what? You just reminded me. Forget how old I was. I was young. I was like, what? I think I was like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But my mom had me at this little summer camp thing. It was just at this park or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was this other like 6-year-old girl who apparently had a crush on me or something like that. Me being 6 or 7 was just like, yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna run around and be me on the playground. And all of a sudden, like these two teenage girls helped her like pin me down so she could kiss me. And I was like, what is this? I don't know
What are
what's
you
going on
doing?
right now. Why are you doing this? Oh my god, cooties. So
Yeah.
I understand you with that one. That was a weird experience, man.
That is.
You don't know what to do when you're like 6 or 7 and
I know.
stuff like that comes up.
So you know what's really weird thinking about it now?
What?
Girls, it sort of seems like since that's happened, I thought that was the only person that's actually like done that, but it sort of sounds like maybe girls sort of just when they're younger, they attack boys and kiss them, but then they grow up and there's like, no, stay away from me. But then they started it all in the beginning. Like, what changes that?
I don't know. That was a weird thing. That was the only time that ever happened to me. I just thought it was weird because I just wanted to run around, and then like three chicks just pinned me down, like to the fucking mulch, and I'm like, oh, this hurts my back. What?
What are
What
you
are you
doing?
doing? It was weird, man.
That is pretty weird, not gonna lie. Well, I have a question. Do you ever create scenarios in your mind that may never happen?
Oh, of course.
Dude, I every night I always do that. I always start thinking of crazy stuff that I wish could happen. I even like voice act them in my head, as weird as that sounds. I go in extreme details,
Yeah,
and sometimes, especially when I'm going to sleep, I'll start an idea one night, and for like the rest of that week, I'll keep going on with different ideas, a part that like day by day situation.
yeah, dude.
It's
I have
really
a
weird.
vivid imagination too, so I understand you completely. I'll be walking out like just anywhere, and I'll just see people and just think about like scenarios like what if like they were ninjas and attacked me or some crazy stuff like that. So I understand you completely. But especially when I'm sitting there laying in bed, I do start thinking of random scenarios
Yeah.
that could have happened and how life could have changed and all kinds of random stuff like that.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like if I could have said something differently at this point, or if I could have worded something differently, or if I approached someone, like, oh my god, I do that so often.
Maybe that's just overthinking, but I do that a lot. Yeah.
It could be.
Like what if I could have just if I could have moved to the left a little bit, maybe it would have done this, you know?
I've once there was one situation where I was like, well, what if I woke up a few minutes earlier? What if I did everything just a couple steps faster? Or what if I slowed down just a bit?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, it happens, man. It I don't know if it's just us or what, but I think a lot of people do that.
Yeah, there must be a lot of people.
But also, that kind of leads on to this. What is one of your biggest regrets?
Biggest regrets. Oh man. Alright, well, we're gonna get personal, but the names are gonna be switched.
Gotcha.
And if anybody knows me and they see this, you I don't care. I don't care. But names, so I was dating this one girl. Her name was Allie. And we dated for about, I want to say, almost going on 2 years. And I was, I think I was in my happiest, in the best position in my life I've ever been in. Like mentally, physically, like having things I wanted, doing things I enjoyed, and being with somebody I really cared about.
Yeah.
And then we ended up getting into this really big argument about like me going back to school and all this such. And I got really mad and I just sort of snapped and I went and I threw my phone at the wall. So she freaked out because we only got to hang out on the weekends and sometimes on the weekdays. And that was really the only way we talked was on the phone.
Oh.
And her idea of me breaking the phone was ending our relationship. Is that's sort of what it was like to her, and me thinking about it now was really close to how it was. So did that, and my phone only just shattered, just like the screen broke, and it still worked fine. And we dated for maybe like a week or so, and then she was like, well, maybe since we're on a little rough spot, let's just take a break, get away from each other for a little while because we would see each other so much and we would talk 24/7. Like I remember one of my phone bills, I had sent over 30,000 texts in a month just talking to her, and I was like, it was nonstop from when we woke up till we went to sleep talking. So that happened, and she was like, "Oh well, let's take a break." I was like, "All right, I guess." And then I went and I talked to this girl. Let's call her, um, I need a girl's name. Audrey. I went and I talked to Audrey, And then we started talking, we became friends, and Allie was just not talking to me. She was going out to parties and stuff and hang out with these other guys, and I know she was being really flirty with them, so I was like, well, if we're taking a break like that, well, I guess I can do that too, right? So I did that, and Audrey asked me out. And I texted Allie and I was like, hey, well, is this going to be a break as in we're going to get back together soon or what? She was like, I don't know right now. I just don't really want to talk to you. And that hurt so much because we went from talking nonstop to I don't want to talk to you anymore. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to date Audrey then. And then she saw that and that relationship ended. Well, not with Audrey. That went on for a little while. But that turned into being the worst relationship I've been in. And it went from the best relationship to the shittiest in about a month. And if I could, I wish I would never dated Audrey. And I wish I would have waited it out until I was back with Allie.
Regrets, man. But
Yeah.
I don't know though. The whole idea of taking breaks, I mean, it's good, but I think that that could also just cause the relationship to end. Like
That's
breaks are, I don't know.
I don't really believe in breaks. I believe in sticking it out with each other and solving your problems together. That's what a relationship is for, in my mind.
Yeah, I feel like if taking a break is trying to, I guess, trying to put the other down easily
Yeah.
rather than saying, "Hey, we're ending it right now." Because I mean, what are you gonna do if you take a break? Like there has to be a motive behind taking a break.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
then
I could see like not talking to each other for a couple days. Maybe you need some time away. But even then, why would you need to say take a break? You know what I mean?
oh, even the whole taking a break thing, back to my story really quick. It was even to the point where it was like off of Facebook, off of everywhere. Every like description, caption thing posted of me was either blocked or hidden. It was a full on basically, oh, I'm single for now type deal. And I was like, I that drove me insane.
Yeah, dude, I bet that's crazy for people to
Yeah.
do that. I don't. That's almost like dragging you on, to be honest.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, "Hey, look, no, I don't get people like that though."
I don't either.
But relationships are crazy, man.
They really are. They really, really are crazy.
Uh, can't do anything about it.
What about you? What's one thing you regret?
My biggest regret, uh, honestly, was when I first started moving around. I stopped being social because of the fact that I thought when I moved, I was just gonna keep losing the best friends that I would ever meet.
Yeah.
So I would just kind of ride it out. I was a loner from about middle school, or actually when I stayed in a middle school in like seventh grade, I think I started being stable in a school, and I actually got a couple close friends. But I wasn't as social as I could have been still
Yeah.
because I always had that fear in my mind that I would just move again, and I did. But I would always have that fear because I just didn't want to lose anybody anymore.
Yeah, that's definitely a reasonable fear.
Yeah, man,
Uh,
because it was always like I hated restarting, and I moved to all right in elementary school. I had three different elementary schools, two different middle schools, and thankfully one high school. But even through high school, I wasn't as social as I could have been
yeah.
because of the fact that I was so used to being like how I was and just keeping like one or two friends and just keeping it as that
Yeah.
instead
That's
of being the kid that I used to be in elementary school, which was like, yeah, all the friends.
I know how that is.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
that's one of my biggest regrets is just not being as social and doing because I could have had I, I think a lot more fun throughout my entire life if I would have learned to open up a bit more.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like I wish I would have been more open to the point. Well, I was open I sort of did like the opposite of you. I was open to all because I stayed in the same town. I went through the same schools. I never had to move, but I was always open all up until like the middle or the beginning of seventh grade. And then I started to close out everything. And then through high school until I left, I was just like, nope, I don't want to be around people. I don't like this.
Yeah, and that's how it was too. I was just like, I want to say this started right around the second time I moved because I would move from Virginia to Oklahoma back and forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And throughout, I would always go to different schools. And after you lose your like second set of friends, you're kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
And I was just like in my mind, I'm like, I'm just gonna move again. So what's the point?
I definitely understand that. And like even losing like a group of friends growing up, like because that's what happened to me. I had a set of group of friends through school where we hung out all the time. We did everything together. Whenever we had a project, we did it together. All this, and then it started changing in high school. They're like, oh, well, this person's doing this. I don't want to hang out with them. Oh, this person's doing that. I'm just like, guys, where are you? We've been friends since like first grade. What are you doing? Like, these are the last few times in school that we have together as friends. Because once we do that, once you go to college, people move, people start their lives. There's no more time to spend with each other after this.
Thing changes.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's it's a bunch of stuff going on through, especially when you have like that huge group of friends in like elementary, and then it just starts dwindling down
Yeah.
as you go further, and that group of friends that you have just gets really small.
Then you just
Yeah,
get your select group, tiny little group you have, but they're the closest people you have to you.
I still have friends in everywhere that I've lived besides that fourth grade part that I used to live in. The store with Zach and Adam. I don't know anybody from that place anymore.
No.
I
Yeah.
don't even know what they're doing. But
Well, that was in fourth grade. That's almost a
yeah,
little hard thing to remember.
which was crazy because it was like this. I moved. Yeah, I left for the third grade, right?
Mhm.
I used to live in Virginia, so I moved to Oklahoma for the fourth grade. Then the fifth grade, I moved back here.
All right.
And then sixth grade, I moved back, and it was just back and forth for a good while. And then I moved back here for high school. Or actually, I was here or in Oklahoma for the not even the first half of high school for the first couple weeks, and it was funny because me and my friend Alex, we moved on the exact same day.
Really?
Yeah, it was like, oh, dude, you're moving too? Yeah. So he moved like not far away, and I'm just like, yeah, 2,000 miles away, bros.
Oh my God,
What's
that's
up?
crazy.
I still need to go back and visit those guys. They were really good friends.
Yeah, that's always good though. I think it's always cool having friends that are close to you, but don't live close to you because it provokes adventure and going out and doing things.
That is true. That is very true. But new topic.
Topic? Alright. What is the smartest thing you can talk about without bullshitting?
So mine, I believe, is computers.
Computers?
I think I can go into a serious discussion about it. I don't know everything, but I think I can get into a serious enough topic about it that I don't have to bullshit around. Be
Damn.
like, oh yeah, that thing, psh, I use that every day.
Yeah.
Talking about man.
Yeah, and for me, I would definitely say it's video making and recording and like the background part of videos. Like I know some computers, but I don't know too much to be able to say like in detail. But when it comes to like editing videos, putting videos together and stuff like that, I can go on for hours about that. Like about the smallest things and I can just keep going.
You've been editing videos for a long time, dude.
I've been doing videos. My first video I made was in seventh grade. So that was about 6 to 7 years ago almost.
Yeah, and you.
Actually, seven. No, almost 8 years ago.
Good God, man.
Yeah, I've been doing videos for quite some time.
See, my whole computer thing started whew, a long time ago. Because when I used to live in a trailer park, my friend Brian was like, "Hey, man, you should check out this wonderful thing called RuneScape."
Oh man,
Thus was the only reason why I ever used a computer.
to
And
try and
we,
buy GF.
yeah, dude, I was like looking for no, dude, I actually did that. I was so young. I would sit in the first town Lumbridge and just be like looking for GF.
Oh my god.
Yeah, oh, it was funny, dude. Those times were amazing. When I first ever got on that game, it was the first game I ever gotten addicted to. So it was a whole new world for me to like actually play a game and think, wow, I can spend more than an hour on this.
Oh yeah.
And I spent so long on that. And after that day, from me moving, and that didn't help me being a recluse because after I started moving and be like, well, since I can't keep my friends, I can keep this computer.
Yeah.
And I sure did keep that computer. And I played the hell out of it. And then that's when I started just searching the internet and just reading a bunch of stuff and just doing all that. And I never really, that was the only thing I really did.
Yeah. It's crazy because if, like how you said, you always have the computer but not your friends. It's crazy to think now, if you have a computer, you could still always have those friends.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
back then, that wasn't really a thing. But now, you can talk to people around the world. You can always be in contact with people.
yeah. That it is ridiculous now that you think about it.
Like
Because
I,
yeah, you can do anything you want to do on the internet now, literally.
it's crazy. Like I remember when my mom first got a computer when I was 9. It was a Gateway. It was a 2000 Gateway, right?
Yeah,
And my dad lived in Illinois and I lived in Massachusetts, so I didn't really get to talk to him. And I don't know how we figured it out or what. Somebody said it. Like, oh, there's this program where you could talk on the computer to people across the other place with another computer. And I was like, okay. So we ended up calling my dad and we talked for like 2 minutes. And I was like, all right, I want to go play outside now. And just ignored the computer. I was like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care about this.
gotcha, gotcha. The computer was always a weird thing for me because the only reason before I figured out about RuneScape that I would even turn on the computer is to download Lime or use LimeWire to get music.
All I did when I had a computer was play on Paint, play solitaire, and play pinball.
I didn't even do
About
that.
it.
I would open up Paint for 2 seconds and then like, yeah, I'm done.
I
And
would
then I'd go
always
back
just
inside.
draw shapes and then fill it in with different colors, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm an artist.
I used to, I used to ride my bike more than anything. That
Oh,
was that was
crazy
my
thing.
go-to.
We're just gonna switch. This isn't even a topic I have, but learning. When did you learn how to ride your bike?
I want to say around 4. I want to say 4 or 5.
Around
Because
5?
yeah, because my cousin he had his bikes, so it was kind of like, oh yeah, I see him doing that. I want to do that too. So I actually rode one of his big bikes when I was 6.
Like one of the big mountain bikes, or like,
Like yeah,
oh
yeah.
my god.
When I was like 6, it was really bad because it was so hard to like go down. I was like,
I
well,
can imagine.
I I can't do this really
That
often.
bike must almost be horizontal when you're trying to put your feet down.
It was stupid. But eventually, I got my own bikes, my smaller bikes, and I
Yeah.
had my training wheels, and I would just roll
Ooh.
around. And then eventually, my mom was like, "Nah, you
Can't
can't use
have.
those training wheels no more. You too old."
You gotta learn.
Yeah, took them off. Then I was like, "No." For that day, I just put it back in the shed, and I was like,
I'm not ready for this.
I'm not ready for this whole new transition. You can going somewhere, but I'm pretty sure I went back outside, got it, and I did it.
Yeah.
It was weird because I was scared of riding my bike without training wheels, but my cousin's bike hadn't, of course, didn't have training wheels, so I would ride that, and I would,
You just be fine.
yeah. But then when my bike took it, I was like, nope,
Mm-mm.
I'm not gonna take this anymore.
I learned how to ride a bike around the same age, like 5 or 6. But I remember falling once on training wheels, and I was terrified for up until this is really embarrassing. Up until when I was like 15 or 16, and I was like, I don't know how to ride a bike because I just fell and I just blocked it out and just said, "Oh, I can't ride a bike. I don't know how to," just to get out of riding a bike. So then my friends were all like getting into BMX and stuff, and they were like, "Hey, come bike with us, do this and do that," and they were hitting these little jumps. I was like, "That looks so cool," but I don't know how to ride a bike, and I legitimately thought I didn't know how to ride a bike because I've been saying that for so many years. You're like, here, this is all you do: sit here, move the pedals, and you're good. So I did, and I was like, I know how to ride a bike.
It happened.
And I was
Mom,
like,
pick the camera.
basically. And then, yeah.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Okay, and then from there on, I got into BMX for a couple years, and I was like hitting these 10-foot jumps and all this crazy stuff. And it's really weird to think about. I went 10 years without riding a bike, not thinking I knew how to a month later hitting 10-foot jumps that are taller than I am.
Yeah, yeah, dude, it's insane when you really start trying to do stuff.
That is.
But it was weird because what was different from me was whenever I would fall on my bike or do anything stupid and hurt myself, I would just get right back up and be like, I'm okay. Like, I don't know what was wrong with me. I was a crazy kid, and we would do just stupid stuff on our bikes, and eventually, because I was like 8, right?
hmm
And I used to hang out with like a 13-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
So I was doing stuff that he was trying to do. He was one of the worst influences on my life when I was a kid ever. Like, he was the reason why I wasn't a good kid. He literally one time, because there was this river behind where I used to live in the trailer park, and he was like, Jarrin, you want to go fishing? And I was like, sure, let me ask my mom. She was like, no. And then he just took me. He was like, are you going to always listen to what your parents say? and me being 8 was like, he's right.
Oh,
No.
man.
So,
That sort of goes back to the topic earlier about like disrespecting your parents and not listening to them.
yeah, I was still a good kid, and he was a really good friend. Like, in a bad point in my life when I used to get into fights with my cousin and stuff like that, and he would lock me outside the house.
Yeah.
I would go to his house and I would just sit there. And it was bad because it was like that was during the winter too.
Oh, man. It was
Yeah,
cold.
yeah, just a little bit, just
hmm
a tiny bit. But yeah, so he was always a good friend. He was just not the best influence.
Yeah, I definitely. I don't. I didn't really have like a specific person who was a bad influence on me. I had a group of friends where we did just this. We didn't think. We had no common sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like zero. To the point where we were. I think it was like 12 or 13 or so. It was when the like first GTA came out. Really, not when the first one came out, but I think it was when San Andreas came out, maybe. And we were playing. It was in the winter, and there was this. I don't want to say little hill, but it's not really a little hill. It was a big hill, and we had like a group of 10 people almost, but only 4 of us had sleds.
Ooh.
So after recently playing GTA San Andreas, we're like, well, let's just be like we're playing GTA and call it GTA sledding. So what we would do is there'd be a row, another row, but 4 rows with sleds. One person would be on a sled, another person just in a row, and whoever was left out, the other 6 people, would be on the hill, and they would try and jump on the sled while you were going down. They could push you off, throw snowballs at you, hit the sled, hit you with stuff. and like all this stupid shit. I remember one night before we are like, all right, we're gonna make this hill really good. So we brought for I think 2 hours straight just buckets on buckets of water to
Oh,
make the ice down the hill.
oh,
So we did that, but we didn't think like, oh, well, whatever ice that's not on the tracks we'll be able to break off and pick up. And this kid Travis took a snowball and made it really hard and threw it at my friend Nick, hit him right in the jaw and knocked one of his teeth in. And we're
ooh,
like, uh-oh, that's not good. Why is this blood? Why?
oh, that's terrible.
And that sort of ended our unsupervised GTA sledding for the year.
Uh, but it's funny you talk about sledding though. Like
Hmm.
in the trailer park, there was a part where there was only one exit,
Yeah.
one entrance and one exit, because the rest was surrounded by the river. But like down this bridge, there was this big ass hill, huge hill, and it went into trees.
Yeah.
And there was a factory. We would slide down that, and it was terrible because you just hoped you didn't hit a tree. You hoped you stopped before you hit a tree. It was terrible. We would all get our sleds and just be like, "Oh, well, yeah, good luck to you."
Good luck not hitting the tree.
Yeah, dude. And we would hit each other with sleds, and it was crazy. It was. I can honestly say I had some of the best times there with those guys because we always did the stupid stuff, but it was always creating memories.
Yeah, that's how it was with them. Like we did all this crazy shit, but now that I think back on it, I remember those times more than I do any other times.
Yeah. I mean, it's always good to have that one group of friends like
But
that when you're younger.
it sort of sucks because now everybody they were all my age and I'm 21 now, so everybody's sort of off doing their own thing and I barely talk to any of them. So like okay guys.
Understandable. Well, Jimmy, one more
Hmm.
topic before we end it.
I was gonna say we're getting a little close on the hour mark here. We are going to talk about what is the guiltiest of guilty pleasure you have. It could be anything from what you listen to for music, what you do personally, or if we think about actually that could lead to weird conversations. Anything,
uh, guilty pleasure.
everywhere.
Huh. You want to go first while I think about this?
Alright, so if it didn't give it off in the beginning when I said Taylor Swift, I actually like some of her songs. And I was semi excited that she released a new album yesterday. Like,
uh,
as weird as it is, I don't know, it's just really catchy. And I just like, yeah, I like this. And it's really upbeat and it makes me happy. So I'm just like, I like you. So
that's your guilty pleasure.
that's one of them, for music wise at least.
Gotcha. I mean, if you want to call this a guilty pleasure, through I don't know why, but when I was younger, and not as much now, but I would always have this like want to hit things and people, and I would always get into like mini fights as a kid,
Yeah.
like for no apparent reason. It just kind of happened. Like I remember I was in elementary school, and there was this tutoring thing, right?
Hmm.
So it was me and this guy Steven. I don't know what happened or why, but we would fight, like legitimately fight for no reason. And we would have like a group of the kids there watching us, and then we would stop. And I remember why we stopped it was because we went back to class one time, and he smacked me upside the head. And I just looked at him, and then I decked him in the jaw. And the, te- the teacher turned around and said, "Jarrin, one more hit and you're out of here."
Oh my
And
god.
that scared that scared me more than anything. I was like, "No, my mom's gonna hear about this," and I was just, ugh. But yeah, I just don't know. I have it's a way to get out my stress, I guess, to hit things.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can exactly call that a guilty pleasure.
Well, it's a weird event, and I see guilty pleasure as like something you like that other people either dislike a lot or something that is not as commonly talked about or like viewed as something normal. Because, like, how many people are going to be like, oh, I actually like Taylor Swift, and how much hate and shit I'll get for that.
Well, fuck those guys, Jim.
Exactly.
You like your Taylor
I
Swift, you
do.
keep going.
I don't even care. And nothing's going to stop me. That's it.
Well, alright, guys. This has been the first episode of the MadCast. I hope you guys have a good day, and we'll do this some other time. We'll figure out a schedule for
Yeah,
this.
we'll figure out a schedule sometime.
We'll
But
get
we have a secret word we need you guys to make up a comment with to make sure to see if you watched this whole thing. And the secret word for today is going to be Angus. So make up something with the word Angus with it so we know you watched all. Like, comment, subscribe, do all those fun things, share it, tag us in it, do whatever.
Yeah. Alright, guys. Well, see you.
Peace.